Man, what's going on TikTok, man? Man, my ass was recorded for about an hour or something, man, and my junk just died. Like, it was on 2% and it died. So now I gotta start this entire topic over. But it's alright, man. Part of the process. Like, but okay, let me see. Let me start it from So like I said, my journey / process leading up to who I am, who I came to be, and who I am forever. Like, I understand there's gonna be change and stuff, but this is who I am, bro. A light person. I just carry myself lightly, respect everybody. You know what I'm saying? No under the table manipulation, none of that extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? We don't do that around here, bro. Like, and I know how to read people enough to be aware of that, bro. It's not hard, bro. Merge your heart and your brain, bro. But let's speak about my journey, man. How I got to this point in time, like why I believe in what I believe in. I ain't gonna even use the word believe, but why I know what I know. You know what I'm saying? But so let's start from leading up to 5th grade. To compile from growing up to compile going up from to compile everything leading up to 5th grade, I was bro, let me tell you something. I'm telling you what I remember and what I know, okay? Leading up to 5th grade, I was always a child that went outside, you know, just a neighborhood child, like out there having fun with the neighborhood, bro. Candy lady, you know what I'm saying? Everybody had a candy lady. We go to the candy lady. We had the neighborhood jumping, you know what I'm saying? We would be outside chilling, you know what I'm saying? Cookouts, grill, bro. Bro, everybody used to be around the crib, bro. Everybody used to be, hey, what up, Renan? Hey, what up, mom? What up? And call my mama, they mama, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, like, let me see. But yeah, like, childhood was really real outgoing, having fun, you know what I'm saying? But then as everything began to settle, and when I say settle, I'm speaking like from this standpoint. When I say settle, I mean settle in a way to where, you know, reality, you know, they say reality set in type talk, like, oh, then it's not just happy-go-lucky. Sometimes you may go through stuff, you know. But once everything started settling, my first spiritual experience, like growing up, was 9 years old. Remember, 12 o'clock at night, you know, I'm up playing the game. Mama come in the room, hey, you wanna go pick up your dad? Yeah, let's go. I love my goddamn dad, bro. You know how much I love my dad? Golly, my goddamn dad. Damn, my dad. Come on, man. But 12 o'clock, you know, mama say, you wanna go pick up your dad? No, yeah, of course, let's go pick up dad, yeah. So we going, you know, on the way back home from picking him up. Damn, that's crazy, my dad, bro. Might get a little personal, my fault, but my dad, bro, that's crazy, bro. Yeah. So yeah, on the way back home, I said, I'm sleepy, y'all. I'm going to the back. So, you know, SUV, driver's seat, 2nd row, 3rd row. Went to sleep. Sorry about this background noise, but went to sleep. It's 3rd row, right? I wake up in a garage. I remember it's like it was yesterday, man. I wake up in the garage, bro. I remember, bro. Deep freezer right next to the door. You know, we was in a Honda Pilot. It was gray. It was like a cube. Big old SUV like a cube. One of the best cars ever. But I woke up in the back of the, and I was about to say trunk, but in the 3rd row. And I woke up. I'm like, Mom, Dad, where are my eyes? I look out the window. I see these 3 beings in a robe-like attire. They're all white. Can't see their face. You know, they don't really have, like, their arms didn't look separate from their body. Like, cause they had a robe on, so, you know, they draped in a robe, looking all graceful and stuff. But my experience of it at that time was, what the heck? I'm like, Mom, Dad, you know. I ran to the door. They didn't open. I turned around. They left. I said, okay. I ran back to the car, grabbed it. I remember, like, how the hell you remember a nickel out of everything that's occurring? All the driving. Remember it was 12 o'clock. I remember I picked up a nickel, not a dime, not a penny, not a quarter, a nickel. Turned it as a key, you know, looked back, it was gone. I ran upstairs, went to sleep under my brother. I was like, then I told my grandma and them in the morning, like, hey, I seen angels. She said, if you was scared, you gotta go by your faith. If you was scared, then it was demons. So, okay. So from then, thinking it was demons, I just brushed it off like, okay, it's over, you know. But So around that age, like around that time, I think it was like the end. I think was it cold outside or was it fall? I think it was fall or something like that. But I remember I came home from school. My mama said, "Okay, your dad won't be living here no more." I was like, and I was so sad, bro. I was sad. I fucking my dad, bro. Think about it. Think about everybody in here. Whoever in here, think about your dad. I don't care what he did. Think about him. It's your dad. Oh, same thing with your mama. Damn, my mama. Family. People that I came out of. People that created me from a third dimensional standpoint. They created me. And I look up to them for guidance. Think about it, y'all. And when I react like this and stuff, it's because I'm a human. I feel. When you actually start feeling, oh man. Like when I say feeling, I mean you're not blinded by rituals or I gotta worship, I gotta get on my hands and knees, I gotta make bro, you're not blinded. You're not like this. You're there, you're present. So I'm so skip to 12 years old, I'm living on Young Road now. I'm not in Tulaney Farm. I'm on Young Road, right across the street from Reed and Middle. Big old hill leading outside the neighborhood. Damn, big ass hill. So on my at 12 years old right now, at this point in time, I'm living with my grandma and my mom. And look at the lights, it's 111. But I'm living with my grandma and my mom. I got 4 siblings, a sister, and 3 brothers, right? And like I say, still outgoing child. You know, we play basketball in the neighborhood. Everybody come. Girlfriend across the street, not at 12 years old, but that was around 16, 17. She was my girlfriend, so she right across the street. You got it made, man. You got your girlfriend across the street. You can go to her house whenever you want. Man. So like I say, we we used to be balling out there, bro. Like at the basketball court. Remember it had that little piece on it, so when you shoot it, it bounced right back to you. You know, 2-car garage. I don't want to pause the live. I don't want to pause the live. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't like being interrupted, bro, but it's gotta be, you know. But what's the name? But yeah, the 2-car garage door, you know. And around that time, I was a Christian, you know, grew up in a household of Christians. So I never looked at it like I grew up. So I'm learning it, you know what I'm saying? I just started practicing it. I'm practicing repenting. I'm practicing praising Jesus Christ. I'm practicing, dang, I can still feel the energy from that time. Like, I was strong in that, bro. Like, because when you don't have a father, when you don't have a structure, a person in your household that's like structure, and when I say structure in this terminology, I mean masculine energy, like an energy that's like, when you see him, you instantly respect him. When you don't have that that figure in your household, you, like, when you're taught something that when you're taught a teaching, and the being of that teaching promotes himself as the father, the supreme father, the father of your father. So you're gonna be strong in that teaching. You know what I'm saying? Because you have this other being promoting itself as an authoritative figure, and it promotes itself as being above the being that created you. So of course you're gonna be strong in that, because you don't have that structure in your household. You don't really have a filter anymore. You just have what's there and the people that's teaching you how to go about what's there. So I'm going about it, you know. Might make great point, right? Yeah. So I'm going about it, and like I say, bro. Growing up, I've always, and I still am, and I will forever will be a person that cares. And when I say care, I mean I consider the next person. I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Sorry about the background noise. But I don't care if I'm low on money, I ain't got this and that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make sure I give it to you, bro. That's just who I am. I save bees, dragonflies, spiders, mosquitoes. I save them because they're living just like we're living. So, you know what I'm saying? It's only right for me to, well, in my eyes, because, you know, it's perspective in this world and stuff. But in my eyes, it's my right to make sure they live. Like, it's like, when we going from spring to summer, I see so many bees on the ground, they struggling to fly. I pick them up. If I got food, I feed it to them, and I put them on the leaf and just pray that they live, prosper. You know what I'm saying? Like, even at work, like, people be hitting the bugs. I be like, in my head, like, damn. Or even when I'm spraying and it be bugs in the way, I be like, my fault, man. I'm sorry about that. I spray the water lightly on purpose so I won't push them out the way. Because I really care, bro. I really care about any and everything that occurs in this earth. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, so growing up, I was always like that, very outgoing, climbing in trees, running in nature with no shoes on, no shirt on, you know. Just all I remember is me having a big old smile on my face. But deep down on the inside, I was lost because I didn't have no father. So I ran to a teaching that taught me, hey, you're my father, so I got to do these teachings in order to make sure I reinforce that fatherhood that you have for me, rather than just going off here and negating what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? I was taught this, so I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna practice it. So sorry about the noise again. So through me practicing these teachings, right? What stood out to me about these teachings was I had to get on my hands and knees. I had to make sure I praised Jesus Christ. I had to make sure I was giving thanks to the Lord. And ultimately, I thought he looked like a bearded man that sit on a throne and says, do this and do that, and if you don't, I'm going to beat you. And that's what it says in the Bible. Not the bearded man part, but worship me. Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, the light. So you got to go through Jesus to get to God. And repentance. I was doing all of that. Those three big things. But the bearded man part, I was taught that growing up. You know, so that means they was taught that growing up. So maybe it had to be right if they was taught it too growing up. I'm thinking it. So mind you, I'm repenting, I'm doing everything, and I'm like, bro, I still keep getting whooped. I still keep getting punished because I'm doing bad things. I'm learning though. How am I gonna learn if I don't make mistakes? You know, so and that's where I get that perfectionist part of me. Like, I want to be perfect because I hate getting in trouble. Right? And I had to learn that. Going through what I went through. You know, so once I did all of that, repenting, going through Jesus to get to God, and prayer closets, and crying, and actually sitting there and looking for him, you know, and actually going out there and helping people and being there for people, right? And like, thank you so much, God, for allowing me to live. Like, man, I can't believe I'm on my 2 feet. Thank you so much. So one time, I just decided, I said, man, I'm just going straight to it, bro. I'm tired of beating around the bush, bro, going through Jesus and doing all this work and stuff like that, right? And mind you, I'm still doing it. I'm just tired of doing it, right? So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, why do I keep getting in trouble? Like, I'm trying. Like, this was after I got in trouble by my getting yelled at it. I'm like, why do I keep getting in trouble, brother? I'm trying. It's not like I want to do these things. It's just, I'm going what feels right. Like, I need you. God, please help me. I need your help. And I expected to feel comforted and, you know, feel that Holy Spirit, like, God, thank you so much. I didn't see nothing. I didn't feel nothing. And I was like, I remember this is how I was like this. Like, God, please. And I was like, man, damn. And then that's when I went on and started studying other things. And my first thing I did outside of God, because based on that teaching, God is something outside of you. So if you do something that's not of him, you're not of him. God is good. Satan is bad. So once I did all of that, I'm sitting down crying. God, I need you. And then my reaction, like, hell, where you at? And I said, okay. So around that time, I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's when they started teaching about the 7 chakras and this and that and all of that stuff. I said, you know what, I'm going to try meditating. But, you know, coming from Christianity, it's still going to be a little bit of, it's still going to be energy coming from that teaching going to what I'm studying now. So those spirits that are attached to that teaching, they're going to still come with you, because now that you studied that for 12 years of your life, it's embedded in your DNA until you know how to clear it out. Right? So I'm starting to meditate. I'm trying to meditate, sitting just like Avatar aim, like this. close my eyes. I'm on top of the bunk bed. I remember like it was yesterday, bro. I'm on top of the bunk bed, and as I'm meditating, as I'm doing it longer, I get scared. Like I'm scared because I think God is gonna beat me. I'm like, wait a second. Why should I be afraid of the being that created me? Why should I walk around on eggshells around the person that created me? What are we teaching here? Fear mongering? My way or the highway? And how do you think that's gonna fit into a child that comes in innocent and then grows up through that teaching? Gonna be nervous. Gonna be, I don't know if I should, because God said don't do it, but I want to do it, but now you battling yourself and God at the same time. Hold on, okay, sorry about that. Let me pause. I don't know if I should, because God said don't do it, but I want to do it, but now you battling yourself and God at the same time. Hold on, okay, sorry about that. Let me pause real quick. Hold on, okay, sorry about that. Let me pause real quick. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, so teaching me all this fear mongering, and I gotta walk on eggshells around you, and I'm nervous, and I don't know if I should do this. So as I'm meditating, I get scared. I think God gonna beat me like your dad. Whoop you, you know what I'm saying? Drag me through the mud. You know, I heard somebody say, "Hey, you putting it the wrong way." That's not what he mean. Hey, man, when you look at the word condemning, and he says he's condemning, he's punishing. So, hey, if you're a punishing being, then I'm gonna think the worst because that's what you're giving me. I'm like, bro, you might just drag me through the mud if I don't worship you. If I don't get on my hands and knees, you're gonna think the worst because you're nervous, you're scared, you're afraid. Now you shaking while you meditate. I mean, now you shaking while you're praying. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, after that, I meditated, I got scared, and then, like I say, I don't know, I just had this fearless spirit. Like, I'm just fearless. Like, okay, I'm gonna still try, bro. I don't even care, bro, because I've already seen. I never seen you. I'm afraid of you, and I'm like, shit. If I can't see him, then he can't hurt me. So I'm still gonna go, you know. So then I went into like this is 5 years later, like because at 12 years old I still want to be a kid and have fun. So I'm not solely focused on trying to see God anymore because I already tried, and at my lowest, that's the lowest I've been. Tried seeing God and he didn't show himself to me, and I'm like, wait a second, what do you? How are we supposed to feel safe if we can't feel and see you? You know, it's like your partner going across seas, and you know what I'm saying, you don't see him. It's like, dang, you love him and you care for them, but you still want that portion. You still want to be around them. So God, come on now, help me. 12 years old. Then show us a boom. Try meditating, boom. Nothing. I was scared trying to meditate that first time. But once I got over that, I'm 12 years old. I'm still going outside, having fun, doing my thing. Still getting in trouble and stuff too, but I'm kind of freer because I noticed that the God of the Bible wasn't who he said he was. I mean, he is from a standpoint of how he treats us, but trying to go see him yourself, he ain't gonna show himself. This nigga's cap. He like the person that supplies you everything you need, but never there. Like a father, he give you everything you need, but you never see his ass though. He give you everything you need, but you never see him. That's how God is. So he constantly wants you. I need you. Me saying I need God. That's how he wants you. He wants you groveling, like crawling through dirt and mud, like you in the military. You know what I'm saying? God, this is all for the Jesus Lord Christ. He passed away for our sins. So, and right after I went through that process, I went to the ancient Egyptians. I said, because mind you, growing up, I always was asking my mom, what was it like raising us? What was it like doing this? What was it like doing that? And I always go to the past because I'm like, the closer you go to the past, not dwelling in, I wish I was, no, but just for informative purposes, like to gain an understanding of your current situation. Like, if you're unconscious on your way to who you are now, you won't really remember until you become conscious in that moment, you know? So once I began to like delve into the ancient Egyptians and stuff like that, and who they worship, I started going into a state of mind like, hey, maybe it's multiple gods. Maybe it's a round table of gods. It's like, hey, we're going to create these beings. These beings are going to worship us. And we're going to pose as the creator, right? We're going to pose as whoever it is that created us. And I'm me thinking it's still whoever it is, what it is. Not what it is, but whoever it is, like if it's a person. Right? So I went, instead of saying it's a singular God, I went to polytheist. So now I'm backtracking. Now I'm going back in time, trying to figure out how do we get to this point? Why are we still on our hands and knees like we was back then? So in my process of doing that, I had to actually live that, though. I didn't just study it and say it was wrong or say it was true and go. No, when I study it, I practice it. I'm not just studying it and then going out saying it's right. I study it, practice it first, and then make sure it lines up with, helping the world out and being there for people. Right? But when you're in a dream state like I was back then, when I'm just la 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 and just going at life, looking for a savior, I'm like, okay. So these ancient Egyptians sound about right, because I'm in a trance. I'm in a trance of practice ritual, just practicing and doing ritual. So back in the day, I had an altar, right? And I had Egyptians on there. And for some reason, I've always been, I know why now, but I'm thinking back from who I was. For some reason in the past, I was always universal when it comes to things. I wasn't just, this one thing and this one thing only. Nah, it's this one thing, but then you have things around it that can still point towards it. But those things around it can be can entrap you. You know what I'm saying? Because of the core teaching of that thing. Right? So as I'm studying the Egyptian gods and stuff and worshiping them, I'm worshiping Ra, Sekhmet, Bastet, Horus, who else? Ta. I'm worshiping all them, right? And I found myself in the same state I was in, even though I started to go out more and I was still an outgoing child, but now I'm in nature and stuff. This is around 16, 17, 18, I'm gonna say 17, 18. This is when I started to worship these gods and go through my spiritual awakening, be like, hey, maybe it's more to this existence, it's more to this existence. And it is, but I went through the structure of worship to get to that point of mine. And still worshiping through understanding that there's more, I was still lost, right? So I'm on the brink of realizing that there really isn't a creator, but I was still on the brink of, there is a creator. So I'm still looking for a savior. I'm still sitting around not working on myself and just waiting for somebody to pop out the sky, and through doing that, like I say, I was spontaneous in a negative way. I remember one time I raised my hand at my mom trying to hit her. I was in a trance, bro. I was zoned out. And this is around the time when I was worshiping the Egyptian gods, Roman gods, right? So, my fault. Just sometimes I say that a lot, Egyptian gods, Roman gods, Greek gods, but I'm going down the line. So around worshiping the Egyptians, I was more like spontaneous in a negative way, mad at my little brother for no reason on his birthday. This was when, like I say, 17, 18, mad at him for no reason. I'm like, the heck? Now I look back, I'm like, what the heck? And it's because I was possessed and I didn't know, right? So I used to go around, hey, this is the truth. It's not one God, it's multiple gods. It's not just, so I'm still thinking that there's a hierarchy, like a beings above, like that are, hey, do this now. If you don't, you're going to punish you. So after worshiping the Egyptian gods, I left them because, like I say, I was still left in the dark. There were a lot of things that I wanted, and I actually worked for it. And I didn't do it because I wanted it. I did it because I trusted them. Sure, I trusted that they was gonna be there for me because the God of the Bible wasn't. So why not go to the past and see if I can get closer to who it is that we was truly worshiping? And I went to them first. And like I say, they was leaving me in the dark the same way that the God of the Bible was. Closing my eyes, Ra. I never seen the falcon face, none of that, because they didn't want to show themselves to me, right? And I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that as to why. But after I worshipped the Egyptian gods, I went into astrology and started studying astrology from the Greek gods and the Roman gods, and that's when I went into the 12 zodiac astrology, and I started going into the birth chart, the birth chart, the degrees, the houses, the aspects, all that type of stuff, going into that. And like I say, around that time too, I was in the tarot cards. I was in the crystals. What else? Tarot cards, crystals, chakras, and just meditation, right? But under a certain system. It's not that these things are inherently bad. It's just a certain system that they under, and it enables and influences your energy in certain ways and how to react to them. Yeah, we have a, see, that's what I like to hear, man. We have a similar story, you know what I'm saying? Because I know a lot of people that have been through something like, not a lot of people, but I know some people that have been through a similar experience that I've been through, but it's like the other way around. They was on this side and now they on that side. So that's how I know that there are conflicting energies at play that enable the person to do certain things. And if that person don't know themselves in that process, they're going to be snatched up. And the part of me that knew who I was that there's more. That's the part of me that I always said, it's more. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, I was into store cars and this and that and the third. So when I was doing those teachings and studies, I still found myself lost. I still found myself like, it was like I got to a certain point and capped it off right there, and that's it. Now I'm on a house. The house is the aspects and this and that, boom, boom, boom. And once I got to the critical point of that understanding, like maybe there is more, like, once I got to the critical point and stopped treating the teaching that I'm studying at that time as the pinnacle of everything, when I actually opened up, and because mentally I had to understand it, but I wasn't moving that way. So, but eventually, like I said, if you have it in your head, eventually it's going to come out because it's vibrating. It's still manifesting in your head. So when it come out, it's going to form. It's going to take structure. It's going to take form. So once I did that, I came across the Mayan calendar. It's different calendars within it, but it's called as, you got the Mayan calendar, which is the whole, and then you got a portion of it that's the Zolkin, which is connected to the sun. Sorry about the noise. You got the Zolkin. You got the Zolkin that's connected to the sun. The 13 moon calendar that's connected to the moon. And then you got the wave spell, which is connected to the sun. You got the castles connected to the sun. You got harmonics connected to the sun. Sorry about the noise. You got the chromatics that's connected. So it's like you got the Mayan calendar, and you got, so think about this, which is the source of the Mayan calendar, and then you got like aspects within that source. And I'm studying this aspect, I'm studying this aspect, trying to gain an understanding of the whole aspect, and guess what? I end up losing myself and forgetting the whole picture as to why I'm here. So now I'm on treating this study like it's the pinnacle. Now I'm going around, every time somebody tell me something about something, I'm in my head like, no, bro, it's about Mayan calendar, bro. No. I remember like it was yesterday, bro. I was like, no, bro. It's about 13 moon calendar, bro. You gotta make sure you know your archetype, because if you know your archetype, then you just walking around being a zombie, like, you know. So, like I say, and what drew me to it was how colorful and creative it was. How and mind you, around that time I wasn't focused on details. I was just focused on if it said love or light. If it said love or light, I'm going towards it. So. And what I came across, like I said, 13 moon calendar, and it was saying how it's bringing the world into a time and place where we'll all be harmonious. We will always be in connection and harmonious to each other, and we will always operate around each other as our archetype. So if I'm a blue planetary knight and you're a red Skywalker, you're my antipode, you're my shadow side. And when I come around you, it's going to be conflict, but I'm like, oh, so maybe, bro, see, this is why we acting like this, bro, because the moon calendar, you see, today is this and that. I'm like, bro, and that's how it was with the astrology, the other astrology, the Greek and Roman one. I'm looking at horoscopes and oracles, and before I do anything, I look at the Nebula app, or I look at the CoStar app, you know, I got emails and everything. Oh, the sun is in Sagittarius, so this is going to be the energy. And mind you, I'm not saying none of that is true, none of that is not true. Because it is. But when you operate through that system, that's when you begin to witness it play out. But when you're not operating within that system, it's like for the people around you that's studying it, it's happening for them. So when you come into their space, into their energetic auric field, you're going to take on that energy until you realize, like, hold on, hey, I don't like, why she keeps saying this person is a Leo, this is why they acting like this, or they, like, see all that, right? The characterizing people and putting people in boxes like that, like, no, and that's what I found myself doing. Like, oh, I don't like this sign, I can't date that sign. It puts you in a box. Now you're limiting yourself. So after I did all of that, after I went through the Mayan calendar and the zodiac, around that time, after I studied the Mayan calendar, I just said, you know what? I'm done. And you see it say 666. I don't look at it from a standpoint of 6 protons, neutrons, electrons. I don't look at it like that. I don't look at it like, oh, this the devil, Satan, this Satan. No, This was actually a Templar seal put on fallen angelic races so they can't interact with humans, so they can't procreate with humans anymore. And it was, I think it was, I forgot in the study, but it said something like it was put on the Anunnaki, the reptilians, because they was distorting our genetic pool. So they had to put a 666 Templar seal on them, right? But y'all just a little sidebar. But yeah, after I went through that understanding, like, bruh, like, I can't keep on trying to categorize people in this and that. So then I went to the celestial world. Now I'm looking at Arcturians. And even in the Mayan calendar, they was talking about Arcturians, because the Mayan calendar hinted towards galactic, like being, it's like operating through your Merkaba, and you're traveling to different worlds and this and that. They had a certain tree of life connected to it as well. And it was like, what was it called? But at the center of it, it was called the Omni-Galactic Core. So I'm like, hey, this is true. Like, look, it's telling you right here. This is the map that we operate on. And you know, every system got a map. The Norse mythology got the Yggdrasil. The Jewish, the Uish Kabbalah tree of life. From what I study, it's the Cathar grid. Like I said, the Mayan calendar had the Omni-Galactic Core tree. I forgot what it was called, but it had 13 nodes surrounding it. What else? But yeah, a lot of these teachings and stuff, they got tree of lives. Like, they got a system. So it's like a system of operation. You start here, you go here, you go here, you go here. You know what I'm saying? In order to embody that teaching, because that is a part of the teaching. So you got to make sure you do this. You got to make sure you do that. So, like I say, after realizing I can't be categorizing people and doing this and that, I came across this, mind you, it's a lot. I'm sorry, it's a lot of, but I'm still on the topic of the Mayan calendar and how it's like, it was saying galactic and this and that, and we are planetary sorcerers that are here to raise the vibration of the earth. And it's a lot of points in there that's twisting. Like, vibration is only an internal process. Thank you. But vibration is an internal process. Oscillation is an external process. So if you vibrate too much, you'll end up imploding. So if we keep raising the vibration of things, we're keeping it in one aspect. We're only keeping it within internal rather than oscillating it and expressing that vibration. Like, you see how I'm sweating? It's because on the inside I'm vibrating and there's a lot of energy going on. And by me talking, I can express that. You know what I'm saying? And another form of expression is sweating, you know? So when I was studying it, through the study, it's like small little details. Like, it's a upside down star, the pentagram. I don't want to draw it, but that upside down star inside of one of the calendar systems inside of the study. I'm like, what the heck? When I seen it, I'm like, hold on. And I tried to brush it off. Like, I tried to be like, because I was egotistical. I'm like, oh man, you know what? And you know how much people realize about their study, but they don't address it because they so fixated on how they want it to be right. You know, so if I notice something about a study, if there's something confusing within the study, I focus on that until I can, before I continue on, because the study in and of itself should not be misleading. When I say misleading, even one little slip up, it should not be like that, because that means if it has slip ups within that study, then that means that study is only a tool to be used to go to the next level or to the next study. But if the study is like, okay, it all makes sense, like detail, the descriptions of things, and it's in a way piggybacking off the things that I used to study, and even things that are big now, like Christianity and stuff, it's letting us know that's why we worship Him. That's why this God promotes Himself to be this way. That's why this, you know what I'm saying? It's actually giving whys rather than this is just what it is and you follow it. It's actually giving whys. Like, hold on. Get on your hands and knees. Why I get on my hands and knees? Oh, this is why. Oh, because they're harvesting your energy and it's keeping you in a state to where you're not aware of who you are and what it is that you're here for. You're just on your hands and knees. You're just like this. How can you become aware if you're like this? There has to be a part of you that's also looking, you know what I'm saying? Or out there experiencing it, you know what I'm saying? You can't experience it without being aware of it. If you're not aware, then you're not experiencing, right? So, because if you just hear, then guess what? You're just here taking up space. You're just a placeholder, you know, a vessel for God to enter into you and then use you as a way to promote his teachings. And that's why parents like to whoop their children. I ain't saying they like it, but they do it because they think it's the best way to discipline them, not knowing they the reason why the baby acting that way in the first place. If you got to put your hands on your child, it's because of what you study, and it's because you be a vessel of what you study, right? So, like I say, a lot of these teachings, they promote that we're love and light and we care, but the repercussions for doing the wrong thing, you're punished. Or sometimes it's just it's no recollection or no reconciling. You know, they just say, oh, it's just a lesson and go about and brush it to the side, let go, detach, be empty. Like, no, then you become a vessel. If you're empty, you're a vessel. You're like water. You're like a glass with no water. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have water inside you, right? So like I say, within the mind count, there was a lot of little hints and stuff towards, oh yeah, this is I'm gonna just use this word because, you know, a lot of people understand it, but this is demonic, or this is negative, or this is not truly what it says it is. It's just masking itself through love and light teachings. So I'm like, hold on, I see an upside down star. It's called a dream spell calendar. So I'm like, hold on. I tried to justify that too. I tried to say, oh, it's trying to keep you from being in a dream. It's trying to break free. If that's what it was, it would say that. Let's cut the crap. If that's what it was, it would say that, okay? It's not gonna say I'm good and then do something other than what it said it was. That's basically saying stand in who you are. If you say you're a negative person, then be that. Don't be a negative person and then manipulate the person. Or be, if you're gonna be a negative person, be that. You know, stand in. Don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because that's worse than actually being who you are. Even if you are something that's considered negative or bad, be that. Unless you want to be wishy-washy, you know, in 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and you like, hold on, you know, like, hold on. But nah, be who you are. So as I continue to go down this process and be like, okay, so maybe. So one day I'm sitting down in the living room, and like I say, I always kept that maybe there's more. I always kept that about myself. Maybe there's more. Like, so I'm in the living room, and I was watching this dude named Christos Avatar, and I recently heard about him. He's distorted too, but the thing is that just because he's distorted, don't mean the teaching is distorted. You know, you can only make that assumption if what they're saying is tied to the teaching. But if they just using the teaching because it's true as a way to manipulate, then drop what he's using it for and look at what it is that he's studying. So, for example, if a Christian, the core teaching is that God is good and Satan is bad, but they still whooping you, wouldn't that mean that God is Satan? Because he's promoting himself to be this all omni-love being, but you beating me though. And basically, this God of the Bible is using these stories as a way to doctor up. It's doctoring up the truth, but then it's like a mountain of lies. You know, so it's like they would tell you, oh, Christ is the way, but they're telling you as if it's through a person rather than the mindset Christ had. That's what he trying to get you to, not even trying to get you to understand, but that's what he was teaching though. That's what he was just letting us know, like, hey, it's not about following me. Don't follow me. Don't be a slave. Don't be that. We don't want you to be that. We want you to know that it's within you. Like, how you think I got this information in front of me? Because I got it from inside of me, you know? But even then, they saying God is something outside of you, and he, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the heck? Like this right here is like a cycle of, you know, they'll say one thing and then they'll quote a verse that says it's otherwise. Like one time they say, what was it? Say Moses seen God, and then in another verse they say no one has seen God at all. Like, damn, what am I to believe? So, and that's when they say the Holy Spirit, you gotta have discernment, and that's where you get cults and stuff like that. But if the teaching tells you forefront at the hand, this is what it is, then you can't get no cults because that's what it said. That's what it says on paper. So you can't be out here unless the person keep the paper for themselves and then say this is what it said and don't tell the people. And that's what we went through with the pharaohs and all these other kings and queens that we consider them to be Some of them, they kept information for themselves and told the populace half the truth. They'll tell you we all came from God, but then say God is outside of you. It's true we all came from God, but God isn't outside of me though. So, but yeah, after all of that, going through astrology and this and that, I'm sitting down and I'm watching, like, and this is around the time where I'm also still waiting on the Anunnaki to come back, because I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of living like this. So I'm sitting around waiting, and then I'm just scrolling through, and I see Crystal's avatar, and I say, Anunnaki, what the hell? Okay. So I listen, and then he was like, the Anunnaki are not one being. Like, the Anunnaki is not just Inky and Lil and this and that, or just a race of beings. The Anunnaki, my fault, y'all. The Anunnaki is a race of beings, but the beings within the Anunnaki is also a race of beings. So you got Enlil, that's a race of beings. Inky, a race of beings. Marduk, a race of beings. That's where you get Thoth Inky is Luciferian. Marduk is Satan, Saintain, Satain. Marduk, Saintain. They are the Satanists. The Luciferians are the Thothians, Pleiadians, the people of light. Love and light. We're going to make sure, they make it seem like all light is good. But no, light is just information. So light is imbued with a specific set of codes that if you just go to any light, then, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be snatched up and you're not going to know. But if you know what light is, and if you know how to read light, and you know how to witness the rays, that's why Akhenaten came, Akhenaten, because he was teaching us that the sun is really the giver of life. You know what I'm saying? Rather than saying, but it was only, he did it that way because that's the best way they could accept it. It had to be something outside of us. That's the best way. Because remind you, before he came, we was already doing a lot of worshiping. And he came to change the game. This is where monotheism was birthed, around when he became Pharaoh. That's when monotheism was birthed. That's where we get all of our singular gods and stuff from. Like, that's where we get, it's only one God, because Akhenaten came and set the platform for it, right? It's a lot that went down with him. I'll probably go into him one more, another lie. But yeah, after going through all of that, I'm like, hold on. So the Anunnaki is a race of beings, and I didn't just accept it right then and there, but I was just shocked. I was like, maybe this is true. So the more and more I studied, the more and more, when I started going through and started reading, listening to Ashiana Dean and listening to all these different channels that teach about YouTube channels, not channeling beings. We don't do that around here, but YouTube channels. But after I went through all these YouTube channels and started listening and stuff like that, I'm like, hold on, damn, so in the spirit world or at higher levels of existence, you're a collective, not one person. You're in a collective of beings, right? And when you manifest, it's like a group project. It's going to be one rendition, right? Just like when a group, like 10 people work, I'm going to say for us, when you in the spirit world, it's 12. When you're in this a collective of 12 and y'all come together and you're like, oh, I want to manifest, you're going to go down there and manifest. You still have your own singular conscience. You're still, you still appear separate, but that energy that you're a part of is there. There's an energy that you're a part of, and y'all know that. So when you end up manifesting, you manifest as a singular product of that, So same thing with them. When they manifested, certain collectives manifested multiple beings, but they manifested as Horus was the Odedicron reptilian beings, and Lil Odedicron reptilian is Horus. Thoth Inky's Aphelium, that's Thoth. Quetzalcoatl, Jehovah Anunnaki manifested as the Ophanim. They even came as Akhenaten at one time, but it was only through the guardian races at that time. But yeah, these beings, they manifest as certain. Damn, that sound weird. These beings, damn, I'm talking regular. It just sounds weird, but and it's signs like that let me know, like, okay, I tapped into a certain like frequency strand. Think about a strand, a little frequency strand, yeah, a little strand of frequency, yeah. But damn, hold on. So they manifest as certain beings. So like I say, when I started studying this, the Ashiana Freedom teachings, I'm like, dang, she literally hitting the core. Like, she going to the basis the basis. Think about everything is here, but there's the underlying truth to what's going on here. So as to why we gotta leech off of food, why we gotta reach outside of ourselves in order to sustain life, and why we keep crawling towards external things. You know what I'm saying? Like we worship in it, like we do with God, because it branches off. Like religion is the I don't like using this word, but it's the pinnacle of our creation, right? Religion is here to teach us who we truly are, but then as time went on, fallen angels infiltrated it. That's why you see a lot of snake heads, you see beetles, you see bird-like people. That's why you see, like I say, a lot of reptilians, like dragon-like beings, winged creatures, stuff like that. Like those are fallen angelic renditions of the spirit world. Because like I say, the spirit world has a structure to it. So like I say, and what I know now, I don't believe anymore. What I know now as to how creation is and why creation is and how it occurred is like once I started studying Ashiana, instead of her telling us that it was a being that, hey, okay, we're gonna create this universe right here. Okay, we're gonna put Earth here. We're gonna put this here. We're gonna put that there. It wasn't like that, you know. But this is how I look at it now, and this is how I know it is, because this is what we've been operating through our entire existence from child. We even started, but before we came into Earth, we was existing within our mama's stomach, so we couldn't see. We was just like this, but we felt everything and we knew what we wanted, right? And based on that, so you know when you close your eyes, you see that darkness. When you close your eyes right now, if you can comment, when you close your eyes, tell me what you see, right? And personally, what I see is like I see black, and I see this. A lot of energy is moving around. So let me do this. So when I close my eyes, I see this. And then what Ashiana taught us was that void that we see, what happens is it comes together with the help of particles. So within that darkness, this is what I see. These are the particles that are moving around like this. And then what happens is these particles, this is a description of what these particles are. So yes, it's black, but I saw, yes, there we go. Yep. And remember the last time we talked, that static that you see, or that movement of particles is fixated particles that are, it's like a, like you say, the artificial light is kind of messing up our way of being able to interact with it. So that static that you see is the artificial light from the screen, but those particles still have its original source, which is partiki. That fixed, like if you look at the screen real close, you will see like individual dots, right? Those are the dots that are here. They are fixated, and that partiki, and what happens is each individual dot does this. It cycles in and out simultaneously. So only reason I'm explaining it chronologically is because we're in a physical form, and that's the best way we can understand it. If we just say, oh, it all happened once, where's the structure at? There's still a structure, you know? So even though it all happened at once, it came together and formed a grid. So you see the straight lines, the cross lines, the diagonal, and the diagonal. They all cross like braids, like strands of hair. So think about the hair. All of the hair is the blueprint. That's God. But then once you begin to braid it, you create an aspect of God. But it's still God. Just the aspect. Now it's fixated. Now it has a certain structure. Now it has a specific operation. But it's all operating through the original energetic grid that we're operating on, right? Which is formed through the accretion or coming together of particles, right? And this is where you get electromagnetic processes between these two. This is the omnipolar where it comes from. That's why you see it cycles out like this. Yep. Yep. So yep. And like I say, those platonic solids, like I say, those themselves, they come from the flower of life. So they're like distorted in a way. They're trying to make us three-dimensionalize it rather than keeping it within this true without keeping it within its true energetic form. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, it's like whenever, like, you say energy, okay, But when you give it a structure, when you say energy, but that's where they get platonic solids. The platonic solids is a structure, but now you ask the question, where did this structure come from? You know? So, and like I say, that the flower of life, you know, that flower of life, and that's a system that's meant to keep us in this state that we're in now. It's phase lock. Like phasing means we can move, but we're only moving within this dimension because of those symbols. They're being coded within our energy. Energy has, I think you say infinite potential until the focus is put on it. Yep, that's right. Yep. So when you put a certain structure on that energy, like the flower of life, the Kabbalah tree of life, the cross of the what else? Yin and yang. All those symbols, they fixate us. They fixate us in physical form. They don't want us to go back out. That's why even within this study, they got a symbol like this. It's not yin and yang, but it's more so the center is source, and you sprout out like this, and you go back, sprout out again, go back, sprout out again, and that sprouting out is the creation of source, right? So it's the same thing with this. You got the center, and everything sprouts out, but it always go back. It has to go back to source in order to regain its true form, to come back into source, to come back into creation in order to create from a natural system of operation, rather than creating stuff outside of you for it to remain outside of you. And then now we're leeching off of it like we do with money. Money was created, now we're leeching off of it. You know, rather than reaching from inside first and realizing that money is energy, and based on how you operate from within, that's how you're going to spend your money. You know, but like I say, when you begin to structure your mind, then you can be able to spend money how you want to spend it, but realize, hold on, I gotta slow down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, and I remember when I had drew this, I just drew it. Like I was like, hold on, I just scribbled lines. I just did it regular. And then I looked at it and I'm like, hold on, maybe I could draw. And this is where they say these are called Kelon codes. This is the crystalline blueprint that our spirit and all structures are formed on, right? This is the Kelon code, right? And even in the Bible, like I say, they said it, but they distorted it. They said God created the earth. Yep. They said God created the earth, but it was without form, so it was voided, which is just the paper itself, which is the void. But then that paper itself has little particles on there that come together, right? Which is sound, vibration, and then light is the manifestation of that vibration. So they said, and what God said, he spoke a word, and then he separated the light from the dark. So it's literally in order: void, sound, light, right? And that sound is the feminine, and that void, the void is the omnipolar, the sound is the feminine, and the light is the masculine. So that's why vibration can be seen as or it is an internal process. It's like your heart is beating from the inside, but with that blood that's coming from that heart is the oscillation. That's what it's creating, right? So you need to oscillate. So it's important to oscillate in order to ascend, rather than just sitting here praying the whole time and hoping that what you practicing is going to it's going to bring God back, because that's what he wants you to do. He wants you to be in. He wants you to beg. He wants you to plead. You will be at my feet, man. Nobody hear none of that, bro. Like I even said, I'm standing up there and looking at him like, hey, bro, we ain't doing that around here, bro. I already know. I tried, and you ain't never show yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is what I see as the original creation process. Void. With the particle, void, sound, and then light, right? And what I do in order to keep myself reinforced within that state of mind and understanding is I meditate, and I do it within that form as well. So when I meditate, the first thing I do is consult the void, actually see the void, right? So this is what I do at first. A place of peace meditation. So I just sit there. Don't come from a state of what if, can I, is it, will it? No, just chill. Just chill, bro. Relax. When the last time you actually sat down and not thought about nothing? So try to sit down and just sit there and just, like I said at the start, it might be boring because we also used to being in the TV screen and stuff like that and seeing stuff move around. So when you close your eyes and all that darkness, it's like, dang, it's boring. What the heck am I supposed to be doing right now? But no, this is where, like you say, it's all infinite until you relax and you fixate your mind. So fixate your mind on just being. This is the only part of Hinduism and stuff like that made sense. And because at first I just went like this all the time. I'm just letting be. Shit, I don't care what come out. You know, no structure, just go. You know, but now I'm tying that. First, you start from a neutral standpoint, which is seeing that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you know it's so much more. Like, it's like, wait a second, bro. This whole time I've been fixated on doing this all the time when I realize all I got to do is this. So, and that's where I get that saying, like, these fallen angelics and stuff, they would try to promote themselves as like, wow, like, we are holy, we are the best. So when you see them, you're going to be like, wow. And you're just going to accept them. No questions asked. No questions asked. You're just going to accept them. But with this, the Guardians, they say, and this is what they told me. They say, bro, we ain't coming like that, bro. We not coming like holy this, and that. Like, no, we coming as we are. We here to help. And for those that know we're here to help, they're going to accept us. But for those that don't, then we can't force them. But God of the Bible, he wants to force us. That's why he puts us in a fear state. If you don't worship me, I'm on you. If you don't worship me, right? So, and through knowing that, you start to regain your sovereignty and being like, man, it's really me, bro. And mind you, once you get to this state, you're going to feel the energies of like, maybe I should start. Maybe I should go back and study this. Maybe I should go back. Damn, man, maybe it's right. And I've been through that before. Like, I stopped studying something, then I go right back to it. Stop studying something, go right. Even when I started studying this, like, I remember one time this dude like came up to me and he was teaching me about the Bible and stuff, and I was still talking to him about what I'm studying. So and then after everything was over, I left and I was like, damn, in my head, like, damn, maybe I am wrong. And it's not about being wrong, but that's just how I felt at the time. Like, maybe I am wrong. Like, what if what I'm studying is gonna send me to hell? Like, I'm scared. Like, so I end up calling my mama and everything, and she's a real strong Christian. But this is how I know energy is real too. But when she enters into my energy and she knows how I am, yeah, no problem. But now that she know who I am and she into my energy, now she like, but you gotta be strong in who you are. You gotta know who you are. Like, you got. But so she not promoting God or the Bible as if he is the pinnacle. But she's telling me like, you gotta know who you are. Da 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 da. But she's hinting towards the God of the Bible and through Jesus Christ and this and that. But I'm like, okay, so what I took from that is knowing who I am, and I'm like, bro, I know this is true, bro, because I see it every day. It's forefront. All this stuff that I've been talking about since 17, it's actually happening now. But I'm looking at it through the lens of, what's the source of it all, though? Like, it's all happening, and this is the reason. So how can I fix it or fix myself and be there for myself so I can be there for other people? You know what I'm saying? But, like, you start from a place of peace when you meditate, and this is why I say, but before you do any practices and stuff like that, you do this. I'm going to show you another thing. You reach a place of neutrality in preparation for discovering your true self, which is to know what you stand for. That's who you truly are, is knowing what you stand for. Who you truly are is not just, life is life. What's going to happen is going to happen. I'm okay. Everything's okay. That person on the street, oh, it's fine. God got me. Yeah, I'm praying for you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying you got to go over there and do physical things all the time, but even just saying, I'll pray for you with the understanding of the God of the Bible is the person you're praying to. You're still going to feed that person negativity, because the being of that Bible is negativity. Like I say, if you go on my YouTube channel, Get To It Now, GETOITNOW, all together, lowercase. It's a video on there about fallen angelics, and the first ones I did was the Anu Elohim. That's the God of the Bible, right? And that's what one of the structures that Earth is running on right now, which is I need God. I'm lacking. I'm not whole. You know what I'm saying? And like I say, if you're not whole, then if you're reaching out to God of the Bible, he'll just say, keep praying to me and keep worshiping me, then you'll be whole. Like, nah, bro, it ain't like that. No, you're not reaching outside of yourself for God. God is already right there and all around. He's not just, I need you, please. No, bro. That's not how it works. That's only gonna keep you in a state of I need. And once it's time, once you exit this body, you go into a system just like that, because that's what's encoded in your auric field, in your bioenergetic field. So like I say, before you do anything, make sure you get to a state where you're just watching the darkness play out. Like you say, the ether. Like you're just watching the energy play out. And then what happens is, at the start, it's going to be moving all fast. But then once you get it to a point where your breathing is controlled, you're completely relaxed, meaning like you're not putting in no effort. Like you're not trying to stay relaxed. You're just relaxed. Just relax. Just chill. And once you get to that state, then you begin to start shaping the structure of the system. But like I say, it's like a fabric. Think about braiding hair. Like it's like woven, like tightly interwoven. Something like it's the best thing I could tie it to physically. Think about it like this. You see all the fabric? This is the system. All this tightly woven fabric. This is what we're operating through right now. That tightly woven fabric. And it's like it's like it's all around you, everywhere. It makes sense, right? Yeah, it's all around you. So that's the system and the structure that we've been operating on. But since the fallen angels came, now they've distorted that. Now you got that fabric, but now it's like this and this and this. Now it's all twisted and stuff, right? So that's why I say, before you do any teaching, make sure your mind is relaxed so you can work the energy, the ether, right? So once you get your energy relaxed and stuff, now you're starting to interact with the ether. This is where you start to project energy. This is when you start to put out energy, right? And this is why knowing who you are before you do this is important, because, well, the process to get to know yourself, you're gonna, go through things mentally. When you meditate, like you may project a demon because you're scared. Like, what if I see this? What if I saying what if is gonna bring it up? So, and that teaches you that energy is real subtle. Like even just doing this, that ripple effect, just like that. And that's why it's important to know who you are. So when you're doing stuff, you will realize, you will know if it's going to affect the next person in the wrong way. And guess what? If it doesn't affect the person in the way that you intended, but you still came off from a light standpoint and positive standpoint, and that just means that they're still operating on a system that you once was operating through. If it's dealing with a being supreme over anybody, like if that teaching is the core of that, then that's the system that you're going to go to, and that's how you're going to affect the people around you, So once you get relaxed and the energy is moving, relax, then you begin to become bodily aware. I meant to put a central body current here as well, because there's a current that's running from source on down and through the earth, because now we're stationed here, so the energy that we translate from source, or is translate from whatever system that we operating from, because there's so many studies nowadays, that's what's going into earth. So if you're studying God of the Bible, that's what's going to earth. If you're studying Hindu, that's what's going to earth. So, and think about it. If you got all these conflicting energies going inside of earth, how do you think people growing up is going to be confused about where to go? And they're going to go to they're only going to go to what resonates with their energy, not knowing that their energy is resonating with the earth first. So now we're channeling, or now we're transmitting the energy from earth out into the world, and now that's what we're projecting. So if it's all these conflicting religions, energies inside of the earth moving around like this, and if Christianity come across Hindu, it's like bing. If this come across this, it's like bing. It's like refractions and glass. Like think about when you crack glass, all the that's how it be when all these conflicting religions and stuff come together in earth, because earth has been distorted. When a baby growing up, it's gonna go to what's comfortable until it realizes it has to organize. The baby that grew up has to organize its own energy, not through somebody else. Like it's never through nobody, right? So once you become understanding and the energy slowing down, then what's good, brother? Now you're starting to become bodily aware, right? And what I do for bodily awareness is think about, you see this right here? Remember, this is the energy that's surrounding that darkness. So now you're making out an image of your body, right? And mind you, we started from a more structured place, so that way when you start projecting things that aren't physical, you'll be like, wait a second. This is I sat and chill first. I seen my body first, so I know what I'm projecting. I'm not crazy. I'm not just putting something out there and saying it's true. I'm actually observing the energies that I'm working with in order to do it. So that means anything can be real, anything can be true. It's just whether are you willing to invite it in your bioenergetic field, or are you going to chill and let it go? You know what I'm saying? So once you begin to become aware of your body, what you do is you think about a white mist at your feet. Thank you for the lights, brother. Once you think about that white mist at your feet, as you allow it, think about a CAT scan when you're laying in the bed, and then that little thing go over your body to scan your body. It's the same thing. As you doing it, think about the inners, the insides of your body, like your toes, your bones, your tendons, ligaments, cells, the blood in there flowing, all that, nervous system. Think about that as you're scanning up your body. And it's gonna take time because your brain can compile all this. It just takes time. You know, it's like if you're doing something for so long, your head gonna start hurting. So that means you chill until you gather yourself again and then work on it again, right? So you start from the bottom and become aware of your body. So that circle of energy down there is your consciousness. This is not ain't nothing outside of you. This is you. All right? So but these teachings nowadays teach us to go against ourselves, or teach us to just leave ourselves alone and there's nothing to work on. Right? So coming to yourself is the first step. Self-awareness is the first step. Right? You can do this without all this. Just start to become aware of your surroundings and stop living through something else. Like, stop living through an external source. Stop living through something that's promoting itself as if it's the king of all kings. Right? So once you create that circle of consciousness, which is like a white mist, you know, then, and the reason it's white is because white is a neutral color. That's why it's white. White is a neutral color, so that color doesn't have no center. Like it don't have no like, oh, this is what I'm doing it for. This is what it's a color that whatever you program it to do, it can do it because it's white. It's white. You could add black to it and it turn gray. Well, if you add red to black, it won't make it won't change as much because black it has to be structured in order for it to. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of rambling on, but yeah, it has to you have to add enough energy into that darkness or that black in order for it to change. But white, as soon as you add something to it, it dilutes it. Just like if one apple is bad in a bag, like if it look real like disgusting, then all apples is bad. The energy transferred to all the other apples. So same thing with white. If you using the color white, you got to be aware of what energy you're putting inside of that white. You know what I'm saying? That's why people wear white to funerals and stuff like that, because they want them to go to a place that's benevolent or something like that, only because they programmed that white to be that understanding. So you're using that white mist, and oh yeah, we in there like swimwear. Oh yeah, we in there. So boom, you started from your feet. As you work your way up, just take your time. Don't rush. Breathe. Ain't nothing out there saying hurry up. The Guardians never rush. The Guardians, bro. Someone asked me if you refer to a color or something like. It's only descriptive. Yeah, it depends on how you say it. For sure. Yeah. Otherwise, it only depends on what you imbue it with. Whatever energy you put into it, that's what it's going to be. Right. A lot of things in this world is going to be is what it is because it's been here so long, and a lot of people are studying it. But that's where your discernment come in, because a lot of these, like I used to grow up thinking, oh, what if because I said this, that's why it's happening. No, these things are occurring because it's encoded in my DNA. Same for you, it's encoded in your DNA. That's why you come across certain things in this world that you go through. You know what I'm saying? Because it's encoded in your DNA. But what you imbue it, that's what it's gonna be. Like how it's, but when it's happening, that's because it's already inside you. That's what's encoded inside of you, right? So when you scanning up, just take your time, scan, and then once you get to the top of your head, like someone like when they, like, you know, when they say it's a halo, then what happens is you condense it back down and then make it into a light, like a light, something like this. And make sure it don't gotta be yellow, but make sure it's white, like, you know, so that way you can imbue it. Because all these colors in the spirit world and all that, they all have manipulable. Like, yeah. All energy. That's why we in this position now, because energy has been manipulated or manipulable. But yeah, think about a center point, and that's your fixated consciousness now. That's the consciousness that you use to observe your body. So now, as it's here, you move it to the right side, move it towards the right. So that way, now it's a monitor. Now it's monitoring to you. That's you though, that's you, that's you, that's you. It's not a being, it's monitoring. Now you are watching yourself as you're in a dream state, walking around in real life. Now you're now, like I heard this dude, he said, you are not the body, you are the awareness of the body. But like I say, that's a distortion too, because you got to realize your consciousness is stationed within this body. So you can take a portion of your consciousness and, like we just did, started from the bottom up, now it's here, right? Consciousness is everywhere. Consciousness is the body, right? But then when you structure it, now you got mental consciousness, emotional consciousness, bodily consciousness. You even got eye consciousness, because everything has a center point to it. That's why it is what it is. That's why it can do what it do, right? The original center point of creation, and all you got to do to interact with it. And then once you come out of that state of interaction with the source of creation, then you can be in understanding of if I do this, okay, I can't do this because I don't want to say it this way. I don't want to say it. I don't want to treat this person like this. Because you know what can occur. Like I said, if you snap your finger, somebody might hear it, because the ripple effect on the frequency, on the energy that as soon as you do this, the energy will play like a guitar string. Bling, same thing. Now everything vibrating, everything ripple out, just like when you throw a rock in the water, and everything ripple out. Now the tadpoles and the everything in there is moving around because of that water that's sprouted out. So remember, there is and there is structure. Look, see how I put that? There is, which is that energy that we're operating through, but then there is, because that is still part of whatever's going on here. There is structure, right? So like I say, after you go through a place of peace, after you chill, let everything slow down, then you become bodily aware. Then you will want to make sure you create a all right, so I know we all seen these pictures before, right? Remember, whatever we see right now, it has been distorted. Okay, so these are Star Davids. You call them Star Davids. Remember, whatever name you use, it's a structure to it. So what my teaching calls it's the Hierophant, right? So the Hierophant is what helps. Right? Yeah, Israel, but they took it from us. They took it from the original teaching and they twisted it to make it to where it's only part of one region of the earth. When in reality, Jesus, he came from a system that used this picture, which is they took it from the freedom teachings, right? So, but ultimately, when you use this one part, this is 11.5. This is weekend after this. This is 11.5, and this is 12th dimension. So when you encode 11.5 and 12, you're getting the energy of the fourth density universe where Jesus Christ came from. The fourth density universe, which is hydroplasmic. So think about, it's like a light. It's like a light within you that's like a star, like it's sprouting. But then your body is liquidized. So it's like, think about a liquid body. If you ever seen Hydro Man from Marvel, look up Hydro Man. That's what we look like in that state, right? We have a light source within us, and we have a water-like body, and it's like frequency. So think about it. If you close your eyes and you think about a center point that's light, and you moving like you moving like this, like you're not walking like on 2 feet. You're moving like floating in the air. You can say levitating. You're levitating in the air, and then like I say, in that state, you're in a system that's like liquidized. So everything, you can shape shift, you can be this, you can be that, but whatever you do is gonna ripple out to the next person. So if you thinking about taking over, that next person gonna instantly feel it, and they're gonna be like, damn, and then they gotta go, and then the person that thought that, it's like there has to be like a certain process that they go through in order to decode that from their DNA. If they want to go through that process, you don't have to go through that process, but if you want to, you can. So like I say, after you become bodily aware, think about your central body current that keeps you connected to source, right? Think about it like as an umbilical cord, but it's not here. It's like a straight line. Like what I trying to say? Think about a laser. It's like a laser, not red, but it's like a white laser, a laser point. And and our mission here right now is to raise our level of raise our oscillation and get to the point where we're in the fifth dimension, because we got to talk now, we got to speak now, we got to open our mouth rather than just coming from a place of love, coming from an egotistical place, coming from emotional state, coming from a materialistic state. It's not, you got to combine all of those. So realize that we are in a physical form, realize that we are emotional beings, realize that we are egotistical and we have our way, and realize that we are all one. Like I'm here for you. So that's that love. And the fifth chakra is now you speaking it. Now you starting to talk to people. If you want to come over here, Omega, we can talk. But I'm gonna finish real quick. But yeah. So when you speak, now you're embodying all the other chakras to get to that point, right? So and once you get to that, let's see. Once you become bodily aware. Once you become bodily aware and you think about the pale silver Star of David behind your forehead, like inside your forehead, think about it like that darkness. Make out that image, and then now remember how they used to say we got seven chakras? It's only 7. They say it's only here and here. That keeps energy encased. That's where you get electrostatic. That's where you get the yin and yang. That's where you get the Taurus. I wish I had something to, but think about like this. Let me see. Like this. This is how energy is moving if it's a 7 chakra system. It's just coming from the head through the body, so guess what's happening? The energy is being recycled. The energy has to go back to source in order to be renewed. So that way it's not imbued by the previous energy that it had. So if you're doing something negative and you say, okay, I'm gonna breathe it out my crown chakra and expand it back out to source, you can't, because the energy has to go back. So if your consciousness state is operating through the structure of 7 chakras, you're only embodied within the physical form. You're not outside the physical form. You're not operating through a different density state or a different consciousness level, right? So when you're doing that, now, like I say, think about the Mahart, think about the Hierophant in a pale silver form, and breathe it like before you send it down into the earth to help with planetary healing. You want to make sure you take a deep breath, but don't be like, you ain't got to be hard. Don't strain your diaphragm. Don't strain your lungs. It's supposed to be a gradual process. When everything is working how it originally was intended to work, everything is gradual. It's never, boom, oh my God. No, because the guardians, source will always, but look, huh? But once I finish this, I'm gonna end the live. Let me follow you. I'm gonna end the live, and then I'm gonna come back and invite you. But originally, when everything was working how it was supposed to, I'm not gonna say invite you, but originally, when everything was working how it was supposed to, I'm not gonna say it's supposed to, but I think it paused, y'all. Did it pause? I don't know. A service internal error. Never happened to me before. I don't know what the hell's going on. But I'm gonna re-upload this on YouTube. So but yeah. So before you send it down into the center of the earth, you want to make sure you inhale. So make sure you grasp, because everything is surrounding the breath. It's okay now. Okay, cool. Okay. So everything is surrounding the breath. So when you inhaling, you contracting. So when you're contracting something, it's like picking something up. You're holding it. So same thing with the symbol. When you breathe it in, that's when you make sure you have it drawn out within the structure of the fabric of creation, like you say. Like we see all of this. Make sure when you breathe in, you make sure you can fixate it out. Right. So once you do that, you exhale. Remember, gradual. Relax, breathe, don't strain yourself. You breathe down from your 6th chakra behind your forehead, down the central body current. And if you run out of breath on the way down, you wherever you stop at, think about the colors, think about the position in your body. Wherever you stop at, you wait. So like, you stop here, then you gather your breath, and then you send. If you stop here again, it's okay. And you send it down into the earth, right? When you send it down into the earth, you can still think of it as if it's 2D, or if it's in a more fixed, in a more brought out form to where you can. Well, I'm gonna just say 3-dimensionalized it. Once you 3-dimensionalized it, cause that's like specific for this dimension. But I'm gonna say 3-dimensional, so that way you can see it from all angles now instead of just 2D. But 2D for right now is the safe place, so that way you can ensure that's exactly what you're looking at. But so we're gonna do it like that. So when you reach down into the center of the earth, right? Think about it. A triangle and an upside down triangle. The one pointed upright is spinning clockwise. So when you're thinking about the clock, don't think of it as clockwise is the 12 and the clock is towards the left. Oh, damn, I did? Or he acknowledges this at the beginning of the live. But so you think about it here. This is 12 and this is 1. No, that's counterclockwise, because it's like, oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I was it's separate. So when you separate something, it becomes a mirror. So now if you look at the clock from outside of yourself, clockwise is gonna be towards the right. When in reality, clockwise is towards the left, because the clock is now you're the clock basically. So 12 is here, 1, 2. So the top triangle is spinning clockwise, which is expansive energy, and the bottom the triangle pointing upside down is spinning counterclockwise, which is the contraction. So as it's spinning clockwise, the top triangle is helping you expand your energy out, so that way you can expand, and then when it's in the triangle pointing upside down is helping to fixate it. So it's expanding in a structured way rather than just expand out, right? So once you get that down from the center, right, as you're spinning it, just breathe regular. This ain't no Kundalini. No, we ain't doing all that. That's false teachings. Like, Kundalini is present within this teaching, but breathing like that and doing all that right there, that's uncalled for. You know what I'm saying? We going through the gradual and natural processes of our body, so that way we can gradually work ourselves up and away from the distortions that brought us that brought us the demise that we've had since children. So go through your natural body currents. If you start straining, or your head start hurting, or take your time and relax, you know what I'm saying? But through the process, your body and your head is going to react in a way to where, dang, this is uncomfortable, but go at it at a pace to where you feel comfortable within that uncomfortable, right? So once you get it to the center of the earth, like I say, top one clockwise, bottom one counterclockwise. Breathe, and as you spinning it, the longer you breathe, the faster it spins. So, and as it's spinning faster and faster, once it spins at a certain rate, then you see that circle. You see that circle right there in the center around the mahar, around the hierophant. That is going to create the basis of the Maharic seal. So that way the energy that comes out of that is going to expand. So once it's spinning at a certain rate, it's going to create a circle around it, and then it's going to create a disc around the earth. See that? And that disc right there is what's going to, is that 12th dimensional current that's being anchored from here on the way down. So now it's going to expand out and hit other planets and stuff like that, and it's going to hit the sun, and it's going to hit just the fabric of space and time in and of itself, and that's going to help anchor the benevolent 12D current, right? Because you combine 11.5 and 12, so that way you can ensure that you're grounding the 11th density, the 4th density's energy on down to the earth, right? So once you get to that point, and the disc, the silver disc is out, now you want to inhale, take your time and breathe, make sure you can see what it is that you're doing or imagine it, what it is that you're doing, until you get to the point where you can visualize, right? Once you get it to that point, where you see the circle, and mind you, all of this is pale silver. Think about a pale silver light. Not white, not black, not green, orange. It's pale silver because it's anchoring that 12th dimensional energy down. So once you get it to that point, now you inhale it on up to the 14th chakra, which is within the light fields. That's deep space. That's way out and not something outside of you. This is something that you're seeing inside of you. You can see it happening, right? And personally, the longer I began to practice on envisioning and witnessing, and even without even putting out energy, without putting out images, I will be able to still like, dang, it's like at first it was just like this. Now it's like I can actually like you get up. This is the best way I can explain it. Like this. At first it's just like a black background, and then the more and more I practice, the more and more it expands out. And now it's actually, now I can walk in there and do it. You get what I mean? I'm trying to explain it in a way to where it makes sense, but yeah, it makes sense, right? Yeah, the more you practice, the more you begin to realize, wait a second, this is actually like a space to create, not just darkness. It's actually a space to create. So yeah, once you get it to the 14th dimension, now it's the same thing. When it was here, you inhale, and like I say, if you inhale too much air and you gotta breathe it out, stop it where you think it's at, and then now you get it to that point, and mind you, it's the Hierophant and the circle surrounding the Hierophant up on up, and then just watch it. Like it's like looking from the down up, but you in your head though, and you can just, it's like in your head you do this. So now you're looking up. You know what I'm saying? In your head, right? So when you see it spinning, just breathe, relax, and once you get it to a point where like your body is going to tell you, you have to listen to you. You don't have to. Get a little excited. You don't have to, but it'll be beneficial for you to observe your body and how you feel. You know what I'm saying? So once you get to the point where you know, and your body says, okay, yeah. So now you exhale it back down, the same way you did it before. At the start, you started from the 6th chakra, now you're at the 14th. You breathe on your way down. If you run out of breath, stop. Wherever you stopped at, go back down. And then stop it. Now we're stopping it at this right here. This is the Maharic seal. This is the personal Maharic seal. This is the planetary Maharic seal. Right? So now the Merkaba Hierophant is now in the center here. Now it's still spinning the same way it was spinning in the earth, but like I say, you're still breathing regular. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this, it don't gotta be no, just breathe. Just breathe regular, relax, breathe, control. You know, it ain't no, damn, I can't believe it. Look at the air, look at God. Like, God is there. No, it's never gonna be shocking. It's never gonna be like a smack in the face. It's gonna be, oh, I knew this was what it was, bro. I knew it, bro. I've seen signs and symbols this whole time. So, yep, once you get it back 12 inches below your feet, remember, you also have a 12th chakra that's 6 inches below your feet, which is a silver disc. Think about Silver Surfer. It's similar to that, but it's not that long. But it's like a disc, like a 3-inch disc that you're basically, if you're looking at it from an etheric standpoint, you're floating, and it's like under you. It's like a frequency that's under you that when you're not focused on it, it's just, you know, but when you focus on it, you can actually see it, and it's moving around. So when you get to that point, like I say, 12 inches below your feet is the Maharic seal. This is the 12th chakra. 6 inches below your feet. 12 inches below your feet is the Maharic seal, right? So when you get to that point, you're, like I say, the Merkaba or Hierophant is here now with that circle surrounding it. Now everything is rotating. So the top triangle clockwise, bottom triangle counterclockwise. And remember, the clockwise will be from the 12 in the center, and the 1 is to the left. Not the way we see the clock on the outside of ourselves. The 1 is to the right. No, that's a mirror. That's a fragment. That's the distortion. It's supposed to be towards the left. So now, like I said, regular breathing, and then now what you do is now that it's 12 inches below your feet, you think about a spark of light within the center of the earth, because now that the Merkaba is here, there's just going to be a spark of light within the center of the earth that the Merkaba left behind as it went up and down. So it's going to be a star, and what you do is you inhale that spark of light towards the 12 inches below your feet disc. So it's just gonna be like a quick, and I you ain't gotta do all that, okay? Don't hurt yourself. Just bro, like it works, man. I've been doing this for a long time, and I found myself stressed out at work and stuff like that, yelling at the dogs and stuff. But when even when I do it, it's not supposed to fix my stress. It's supposed to help me work through the stress. So even though I still be kind of tired and a little aggravated, it's like I don't have to work too hard to pull myself away from that feeling. I just go, but I still feel it though. I'm not unaware of it. I'm not like, oh, I'm free now. God got me. I don't got to think about it no more. No, it's still there. And you got to be aware of that so you can know exactly what it is that you're working through. So if you don't specifically know what it is that you're working through, then what are you working through? You just working? Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? You gotta be specific, detailed. And I only got to that understanding I only got to the detailed understanding or understanding because I came to this point. I've always knew there was more, and this is the more, and it's still more, which is beyond this study. It's not going to be another study no more. It's going to be just life. And now I'm like, so this energy source, I know how this feel now. Okay, I ran the Maharic seal. So I can feel, and it's like when you run the Maharic seal, once you finish breathing in, I breathe in 3 times from the source, from the core to earth to 12 inches below my feet, a little silver disc. I breathe in 3 times. Facts, the best way I can describe my experience is that set inside my Merkaba and travel. Yes, bro, you can actually feel it, bro. It's like you can feel the rotation and the difference in the spins and stuff like that. Like you could, bro, man, that's crazy, bro. Like this ain't no, like we said, ain't no, oh, it's real. No, bro, this is a, Okay, so I witnessed that. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and do this. Oh, dang, that makes so much sense. Wait a second, oh, okay, now, that's how it be. It's not just a, like, nah. But I'm telling you, if it's heavy, it's because you never really got the proper teachings on how to regulate it and keep it from feeling that way. The only reason it's heavy is because we're in a distorted system, right? So if you watch this back on my YouTube channel, just make sure you practice this, and I'm gonna also send you a link to a Merkaba activation, so that way a Maharic seal activation, because Ashiana says use this before you do anything. I'm gonna tell you once I finish telling you this. I'm gonna tell you how I know it's true. It's 222 from military time, 2222. That's 1022 in military time. But yeah, 222, 2. Yeah, 7 years ago. So yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of distortions and stuff like that. But like I say, the distortions aren't necessarily a bad thing. It just enables you to do things, or gives you the idea to want to do things that you know is going to harm you. That's what distortions do. They don't. Oh, a person got distortions, they're bad. Fallen angels, oh, they're bad. No, fallen angels, that's just their natural reaction to the energies that they wanted to, work through. So if they want to take over, then guess what? Deal with what come with it. Now you got to leech off of us until you realize, damn, I'm still need the energy. So why not just go back to source? Why I keep on messing with these people? Why do I keep on distorting? And it's like a person that like food a lot, and they keep eating it, make their stomach hurt. And then once they realize, once they come to, maybe I should stop eating this because my stomach hurting. Or for their angels, fallen angels, maybe I should stop leeching because I'm still need it. You know what I'm saying? But they gonna come to that realization one day. Some Zeta Grays, they came to that realization because they realized that if I'm hurting them, I'm hurting me. But like I say, like you said, energy is infinite until you consciously understand it. So if you're not consciously giving things structure, then you're just, forget it. Right? You see how, just forget it. It don't even make no sense. So yeah, once you get it to a point where you're breathing in the Maharic, the Merkaba into the 12 inches below your feet disc, breathe, relax, and once you get it to a point where then you exhale like, Well, okay, leading to that process of exhaling, you're still inhaling and exhaling, but that final exhale is intention behind it to where you know you're opening up your shield. So remember, 12 inches below your feet. So once you, that last time, it still don't gotta be extremely forceful, like, but think about, like, at first the shield was about three inches wide. Now it's like 18 inches wide. So, well, think about it spanning past when you open your arms. The auric field is still out past your arm, you know. So, and I promise you, like, when you practicing it, you're gonna feel like a cool breeze, even when there's no wind. You're gonna feel a cool breeze, like, across your body. It's not harmful. It's not misleading you and saying, oh, this is how it feels. So, but at the end of the day, when you feel it, like, I can't even put a distortion around it because I just know I've been using it for so long. I know this is how, like I say, for example, when I don't use it, like if I'm talking about fallen angels and stuff, I yawn a lot. I be like, my fault. Because I'm not protected, so their energies is interfering with mine. So my reaction to that interference is yawning, because I'm like, it's uncomfortable. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, why do I keep yawning? I'm not sleepy. Why am I yawning? I'm not tired. Right? But when I run to my heart still, I'm talking about it, it's just like, I can go on, and I'm not yawning. My mind, and mind you, I'm aware of when I don't run it, I'm yawning. So when I do run it, I'm like, but before I talk about fallen angels and talk against, or not even against, but talk the process of how we got to this place, I won't be yawning. You know what I'm saying? Because I ran it, or prior, like a few days prior, be talking about it, I ran it and it's still in my auric field. But when you do run it for the first time, it's going to last about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how strong you do it, right? It can even last 5 to 10 minutes because you ran it in a way to where it doesn't really last. But like I say, I'm going to send you the link to it, and I'm going to put it in the description of the YouTube video as well. But ultimately, like I say, I'm going to say this, to identify between guardians and fallen angels, assess how they talk to you. If they talking like, so you've been doing this for so long, it's time for you to return to God. It's time now, fallen angel. But if they say like, okay, I understand why you're going through the things you're going, because like, mind you, a fallen angel can't mask, in my eyes, I feel like a breeze right here. I promise you, bro, I'm not capping, bro. It's no wind. The air conditioning is off. I don't feel, but the moment I said something about that, I felt like a cool breeze right here, right? And like I say, I'm not yawning. I'm not thinking. Yeah, start getting judgy. Start doing it, because remember, you are the maker of your reality. Energy is consciousness, and consciousness is energy. So that means energy knows what it's doing because it's manipulated by another form, a conscious form that knows how energy works. But even when energy is just moving, whatever information is imbued within energy, whenever you imbue energy, the energy becomes conscious. Or even before you imbue it, it's already conscious with natural processes. So if you go against it, it's going to show you the consequences of, I'm going to say, repercussions of going against it, right? So it's very important to become like real. Don't just accept. Like, it's a difference. I mean, I'm not going to say don't just accept, but don't take on. It's okay to accept, but don't take on. Like, don't embody it and say, oh, this is what's true, so I might as well just take it on. Like, no, accept that. Like, and when I say accept, I mean it's there. So accept that it's there, but what are you going to add to it? Do you want it to stay there? Do you want it to leave? How does it make you feel? When you come out of this meditation and you observe the world, how does everything present itself to you now? How are you processing everything now? You know what I'm saying? If you come out of meditation and you just like, I don't want to talk to nobody, then that means the meditation that you did separated you from everybody. It's a separation meditation. But if you come out the meditation and you have more of a balanced outlook on life, and you're not necessarily standoffish, but you want to talk to, it's not necessarily that you want to talk to people, but you're open to talking to people. You're not just isolated. Like, I remember one time I did that, isolated. I don't care. In school, meditated every time before wrestling practice. I didn't want to talk to nobody, separated. You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, make sure any being, any voice that you hear in your head that you know what I'm saying, that moves you in a way to where like, damn, I kind of want to do that, ask yourself. You know what I'm saying? is this gonna help? Is it, you know what I'm saying? And even if you still go through with whatever you hear in your head and it doesn't serve you, it's all about how you process that non-service. It's not about the non-service itself, it's about how you process it. So if you go out there and you still eat a burger knowing it hurts your stomach, how are you in your head thinking about, why did I do that? Are you even asking, why did I do that? Are you asking, where did this come from? Or are you just saying, oh, it's good, so I don't care. I don't care if my stomach hurt. You know, that it depends on you. You know, so, I mean, that's all I wanted to say tonight. I mean, I wanted to let y'all know, like, where I'm coming from and why I think the way I think and why I look at energy the way I look at it. And ultimately, like I say, I just want to get to the root. The source. I don't care, bro. The source, bro. I don't care, bro. The source, bro. I don't care, bro. The source. Like, the source, bro. That's the best way I can put it, man. Everything that I said, the source is what I boil it down to. So, ultimately, man, I love that word, ultimately. Ultimately, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I want to read the background one more time so y'all can know exactly what y'all came in here for. My journey leading up to who I am. And I will make sure to edit this too so I can say your journey leading up to who you are, because I want to hear where you came from. You feel me? It's not just about me, man. Oh yeah, I got you. I'm gonna just say it in here and then I'm gonna take it to you. GETOITNOW. Get to it now. That's the YouTube channel, and you're gonna see like a reddish orange color with people standing around the table, and they like this, like, and that's my idea of rainbow round tables. Like, that means you do certain planetary grid work in order to help raise the frequency, vibration, and oscillation, or I'm gonna say raise the oscillation more and make sure the vibration is structured in a way to where it assists raising the oscillation. So the oscillation is not just like an explosion, right? So I really appreciate y'all for listening, man. Everybody that came through, man, for real, bro. Like, and I got more things coming, you know what I'm saying? But this is who I am, and this is who I will forever be. You know, it's not yeah. It's GETO, not TTO, cause I ain't wanted to see. You see how you spelled it? I didn't want it to like ghetto, GETT. I wanted to be like that second T is the first T. So it's like a unity source type thing. Like, it implies the self. Like, so it's not just, oh, two T's, but it's still the same T. So who's the original T? Nah, the original T is the T. Yeah, you get it? That's kind of hard, you know. But yep, I appreciate y'all, and for sure, yeah, I'm gonna start doing podcasts as well. I got this app that I used to use when I was younger, around the time when I was worshiping ancient Egyptians and stuff like that. I was using this app. It was called Anchor. They changed it now to Spotify for creators. But yep, I appreciate y'all, and I'll be back with another video probably in 2-3 days, you know, depending on, you know, if I got time and stuff like that. But thank y'all so much, bro. I really wanted to tell y'all who I am, why I'm doing what I do, and I am not here to manipulate y'all. I am going to watch this video back to ensure that I said the correct thing before I upload it. All right? Thank y'all so much. Let's get to it now. And remember, it's all within you, and it's around you too, but it starts inside. Thank y'all so much.